A psychic at the carnival took my hand, dropped it immediately, and refunded my money without saying a word. My girlfriend dragged me to the carnival on Saturday night. I hate carnivals, but Jenna had been begging for weeks, so I gave in. We spent 2 hours riding sketchy rides held together with duct tape and prayer, eating overpriced funnel cake, and losing money at rigged games. Then Jenna saw the psychic tent. "Come on, it'll be fun," she said, already pulling me toward it. "Those things are scams. I know they're scams. That's what makes it fun." The tent was dark red with gold trim, and it smelled like incense and mothballs. Inside sat an old woman with gray hair and jewelry that looked like it weighed more than she did. Her eyes were closed when we walked in. "Sit," she said without opening them. Jenna went first. The psychic took her hand, traced her palm, and told her she'd find love with someone who makes her laugh. Generic fortune cookie nonsense. Jenna ate it up. "Your turn," Jenna said, nudging me. I sat down across from the psychic, rolling my eyes. I put my hand out. She opened her eyes and reached for it. The second her fingers touched my palm, she froze. Her face went completely white. She stared at my hand like it had just burst into flames. Then she dropped it and jerked backward so hard her chair scraped against the floor. "I can't," she whispered. "What?" She was shaking. "I can't read you." "Why not?" She didn't answer. She just grabbed a 20 from her cash box and shoved it into my hand. It was the exact amount we paid to get our fortunes read. "Leave, please," Jenna laughed nervously. "Is this part of the act?" The psychic wasn't listening. She was staring at me with pure terror in her eyes, like I was something she couldn't understand. "Go, now." We left. Outside the tent, Jenna was still laughing. "That was weird, right?" I nodded, but something about it bothered me. The way she'd looked at me wasn't fake. That was real fear. We walked around for another hour, but I couldn't shake it. Finally, I told Jenna I needed to use the bathroom and went back to the tent alone. The psychic was packing up. The sun hadn't even set yet, and she was already tearing down her entire setup. "Excuse me," I said. She spun around, saw me, and her face drained again. "Why did you give me my money back?" She didn't answer. Just kept packing. "I'm not leaving until you tell me." She stopped. Her hands were shaking as she set down a box of candles. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I've been reading palms for 40 years. I've read murderers, liars, saints, everyone. But I've never seen a hand like yours. What does that mean?" She looked at me. "Your lifeline splits. Not branches, splits. Like 2 separate paths, 2 separate lives. One of them ends soon. The other one goes on for decades." I felt my stomach drop. "Which one am I on?" "I don't know. That's the problem. I can't tell which version of you is standing in front of me right now. That's insane." "Is it?" She stepped closer. "Tell me something. Have you ever felt like you were supposed to die but didn't?" I froze. 3 years ago, I was in a car accident. A semi ran a red light and T-boned the driver's side. My car spun across 3 lanes of traffic, flipped twice, and landed upside down. The paramedics told me later that I shouldn't have survived. The driver's side was completely crushed, but I walked away without a scratch. The psychic saw my face change. "You were supposed to die that day, weren't you?" I couldn't speak. "Something changed. Something brought you back, and now you're living a life that was never meant to happen. That doesn't make sense." "It doesn't have to make sense. It just is." She grabbed my wrist, staring at my palm again. "One version of you died in that crash, but somehow you're still here, and now your life is split. You're walking 2 paths at once, and eventually they're going to separate completely." "When?" She let go of my hand. "Soon. Maybe days, maybe weeks. But when it happens, you'll have to choose which path you follow, and whichever one you don't choose will cease to exist." I backed away. "You're messing with me." "I wish I was." She went back to packing. "I gave you your money back because I couldn't tell you your future. I don't know which one you're going to get." I left the tent and found Jenna waiting by the Ferris wheel. She asked what took so long, and I lied and said the line for the bathroom was huge. We drove home that night in silence. When we got to her apartment, she kissed me goodnight and went inside. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, staring at my hand. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. "Hello?" Nothing. Just breathing. "Who is this?" The breathing stopped. Then a voice came through, and my blood went cold. It was my voice. "Don't go home tonight," it said. "If you go home, you die. Stay at Jenna's. Trust me." The line went dead. I sat there shaking, staring at my phone. Then I looked up at Jenna's apartment window. I grabbed my phone and called her. She picked up on the second ring. "Did you forget something? Can I stay over tonight?" She paused. "You hate sleeping anywhere but your own bed." "I know, but tonight's different." Another pause. "Okay, come back up." I turned off the car and walked back to her building. The next morning, I checked the news. A gas leak had caused an explosion in my apartment building at 2 a.m. 3 people died. My unit was completely destroyed. The psychic was right. I chose a path, and somewhere out there, another version of me didn't.